You know, this isn't really the channel for this. I have to keep my voice down. I still live with my parents, but guess what? I am 30. Yeah, that's right. I am 30 years old. You can probably tell by my mustache and my beard. But if you look at, I don't really show myself often on this channel. I used to have a vlogging channel, but I deleted it. Now I just do music. I'm going to make this somehow music related in some kind of way. I don't really show myself that much on my YouTube or whatever, but if you look at like Angry at Doctors and Music Update, you can see with that video, I look pretty young. I have a little bit of facial hair growing a little bit, but so again, I was 30 when I made that. In my album cover, Marfan, Marfan, that album cover, I look pretty young, but I'm 30. I'm 30. I don't usually show myself that often in my videos and stuff like that. I met up with some woman named Sandra, meeting an internet friend in real life. That video, I was pretty well shaven. You get the idea. There's probably some more videos of me well shaven. Well, anyways, it doesn't really matter. What I'm trying to get at with this video is that, and this might attract trolls, but I don't really care because I mostly talk about music anyways, and that's basically, there's this, I watched a video about like the word twink. I've been watching these videos on and off for a couple of years about like, the whole twink thing that goes on and stuff like that. There was a video called The Flawed Language of Male Queerness. And there was some guy ranting about the word twink and stuff like that. And basically what I'm trying to get at is that there's like a bunch of videos talking about twink death and stuff like that. Me personally, I have mixed feelings with the label twink now that I'm 30, for multiple reasons. Number one is because, well, out of order, why I like it and don't like it, basically. I tend to grow out my facial hair, whether it's like this or both sides or whatever. Like I tend to grow it out more because I'm kind of just like fucking lazy and shit like that. But when I do shave, yeah. So yeah, when I grow my facial hair out, obviously I'm not a twink. But when I shave it, yeah, I look like a twink. So I'm kind of like half and half with that label. And my voice is pretty still youthful, so I still fit into a twink with that, but then I can get it really low, which I don't really fit into a twink. So I'm kind of like my own fucking thing. As far as my weight goes, I have this thing called Homocystinuria, which causes a Marfanoid habitus, Marfanoidhabitus. And basically, I think hopefully I spelled that correctly. If I did not, I'll put the text on how to spell it correctly. Basically, it's like a mild form of Marfan syndrome. Marfan syndrome is people that are tall and thin, but it can affect your heart and stuff like that. Again, I have homocystinuria, which is like a mild subtype of Marfan syndrome. I'm not really tall, but I am pretty thin. My heart looks normal, you know. Yeah, homocystinuria. I made a song about that. Do you want me to spell homocystinuria for you? Homocystinuria. If I spell any of these words wrong, I'll just probably spell it out in text, just in case. I'm making this video because I don't know. I'm kind of like now that I've reached the twink age, like, because twink is a young adult skinny male, or I don't know what I mean. You know what I mean? Like, there's a guy called Troy Sivan. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's a musician and he identifies as a twink. I mean, like, I'm not totally against the label. Again, it does yeah, it's the issue that I have with, again, you might hear my mom snoring in the background. I apologize. It's a gay slang. That doesn't really fit me because I'm not gay. I'm bisexual. You could argue that I'm half gay, so it does kind of fit me. But then it says it applies to men in their late teens, so like 18, 19, to 20s, like early 20s, like anywhere from 20 to 24 or whatever. 25 would be mid-20s. And then it says someone who's slim. Okay, I'm slim. Youthful, boyish appearance. Yeah, when I shave. Little to no body hair. Yeah, little to no body hair. But it's like I'm not gay though. I am bisexual, but you know. And it's like, so I have kind of like a mixed opinion about it. Again, I'm sorry if you hear my mom snoring in the background. If you hear in the vibrations in the background. Basically, in a nutshell, where do I lean? What is like my most opinion about it? I lean more towards like I don't really like the label anymore, because identifying as a 30-year-old twink sounds like a meme. It sounds like a joke, right? Because most people around my age don't fucking fit. Most men, you know, if you're not trans, if you're a male, assigned male at birth, you know what I mean? Most men my age are not really skinny anymore, or if they are, they're dieting or doing something else. So I don't know. Maybe they're on hormone replacement. I don't know. Like maybe they're like a femboy, non-binary, where the doing hormone replacement therapy, where it's changing the body shape of the body, or they're dieting. They're eating in a certain way, or I don't know. They're doing cardio, and I don't relate to that. I don't do cardio. I don't, you know. I don't lose weight. I'm just naturally skinny. You know what I mean? I don't want to talk about my weight number, but because of my genetic disorder makes me skinny, basically in a nutshell. You know, and I never really related to twink that much, because it's like I didn't choose to become a twink or to become skinny or to become this. You know, this is why I kind of fit into my own label, my own bracket of being a Marfanoid. I'm a Marfanoid, you know what I mean? I mostly push against the twink label nowadays. I push back against it, you know, or I push it away. I mean, I'm not totally against it, you know what I mean? But nowadays it's just kind of like it doesn't really fit me. I mean, body-wise it does, and if I shave it does, but and the voice and stuff, but other than that, I don't know. It's usually a sexual thing, and I'm not always sexual with it, or with my body, or with whatever. I don't know. I didn't choose to become this. What does this have to do with music, though? I have a song called about being about this whole twink obsession that people have. One thing I don't like about twink is that it leans to being a femboy, and yeah, I was a femboy, but then I stopped because a lot of people do HRT, and I'm not if you want to, that's you, that's your choice, but I don't want people to think that I'm doing HRT, or that I'm dieting, or that I'm doing any of that stuff. I didn't choose to be me. I chose these labels, but I didn't choose to be my weight. I didn't choose to be me. Just no. But I have a song called "Broke the Binary," where I basically said it. It's not a pro twink song. It's sorry if you heard that playing in the background. It's not a pro twink song. It basically says, I'm too old to be a twink. You know what I mean? I broke the binary. It does say in the song I have Marfan syndrome. Technically, that's not true. I have Homocystinuria. I think I wrote this song when I was still trying to get tested for Marfan syndrome. My whole health history is very fucking weird. I don't know if you'll want me to go into a nutshell about that, but basically, so check out this. So yeah, this song is very good. It's called "Broke the Binary" by Johnnyism, which is my band. This is like really the only time I've ever referenced being a twink or not being a twink in my music. I don't know why I only made like one song about it. My dad's cough in the background. I apologize if you hear that. I was going through some genetic testing in 2018, 2019. Turns out I don't have Marfan syndrome. They originally said, "Oh, you just have Marfanoid habitus." They did a Homocystinuria test around that time, but then the pandemic happened, and I never really got the results from my homocysteine levels. You know what I mean? All these years, they never told me what my homocysteine levels were. that specific geneticist place, you know, because you know the pandemic hit. Because I was going through all these tests to see like what's wrong with me, why am I so thin? Marfan syndrome was negative and stuff. And then years later, kind of recently, my heart doctor gave me this paperwork that said, um, well, well, the genetic testing place never said what my homocysteine levels were. My heart doctor always says I have high levels, but I was always questioning, does me having high homocysteine levels mean I have homocystinuria? Well, I recently got that answer, but that said high homocysteine levels, which obviously I know shit. But then this was the first time I got paperwork that said diagnosis homocystinuria. So yes, so it's kind of like my heart doctor's fault for he kept on saying you have high homocysteine levels, but he never clarified if that means I have homocystinuria or not until I got this paperwork finally. Again, sorry if you hear my mom snoring in the background. Hopefully you don't. But I don't know. It's just basically I don't know if I want to make any more songs about the whole Twink thing. But obviously I did not hit Twink death when I shave. Obviously, you know, because you know, I could still apply. I mean, not apply. I can still be classified as a twink if I shave, but I kind of don't really want to or have mixed feelings about it because it's just I'm too old. I'm too fucking old. You know, and I made a video similar like this on my old YouTube, but I deleted all the videos and the whole entire channel because I was getting made fun of and stuff. I try to make this is a music channel. This is basically a music channel, but if I do get off topic, I try to make it music related in some kind of way. But yeah, the lyrics go, I look too young for my age. I'm too skinny for my age for a male. This was in 2023. My birthday is March 22nd, 1995, so I'm 30. I broke the binary. I'm too old to be a twink. You know, you could argue that this song is kind of like a non-binary, pro-non-binary. I don't identify as non-binary. I used to identify as gender fluid, but I stopped identifying as that because, again, a lot of people in the non-binary gender fluid community, they do hormones and they have gender dysphoria, and I never really did. I don't know. I want to be my own thing. It's not even just I want to be my own thing. I just am my own thing, and I want to be accepted as my own thing. You know. But yeah, I'm probably gonna end this because this. So yes, this did somehow have to do with my music in some kind of way. I don't know if I want to make any more songs about the whole twink obsession that people have. I mean, if you identify with that, that's fine. You know, it's just nowadays. You know, I'm my own thing. I'm a Marfanoid. You know, I don't want it to be a PORN category as well. You know, I mean, I'm not against people. I'm not against people with my condition. You know, making explicit content. I'm not, but I don't want my condition becoming a category of explicit content. If that makes any sense, I don't want it to be like the next twink. My condition is very rare, and Marfan syndrome itself is very rare. But I'm just saying, I don't know. I'm not against watching PORN. It's just, I don't know. It's just, I'm my own thing, you know? I tried fitting into a label and it never really worked. And I hate how Twink and Femboy get crossed over anyways. And I just don't like that. I just identify as a skinny dude that makes music, that listens to music, that, you know, is a sexual being. And that's basically it. So yeah, whatever. You can call me what you want in my videos, you know. If I film another video again with shaved body hair, if you want to call me a twink, go ahead. But I'm just myself, you know. I'm just me, Johnnyism. I'm Johnnyism. That's my label. Let me just add that Troye Sivan also has Marfan syndrome, so I find that very interesting.